This is the Outdoor Life channel, and today we are going to talk about the biggest flash floods of all time. Flash floods are the most dangerous kind of floods because they combine the destructive power of a flood with incredible speed. Flash floods occur when heavy rainfall exceeds the ability of the ground to absorb it. They also occur when water fills dry creeks or streams with enough water to overtop their banks, causing rapid rises of water in a short amount of time. They can happen within minutes of a rainfall, limiting the time available to warn and protect the public and those in danger. Cities are more likely to be affected by flash floods due to the predominant surfaces, such as asphalt, and the lack of natural drainage systems. The water from flash floods can reach a height of 20 feet, severely damaging anything in its path. Just 2 feet of floodwater moving at 9 feet per second is enough to sweep vehicles away, move 100-pound rocks, uproot trees, or level buildings. Just 6 inches of rapidly moving floodwater can sweep someone off their feet. In recent years, an average of 75 people have died from flash floods in the United States each year. Nearly all who perished during flash floods tried to outrun the waters rather than going to a higher area. And 2/3 of the deaths claimed by flash floods occur in vehicles when the drivers tried to pass through the floodwater. Flash floods can cause extensive structural damage. Just 12 inches of floodwater on a 2,000 square foot building can cause $50,000 worth of damage or more. Flash flood warnings are issued by the National Weather Service when a flash flood is imminent. Flash floods are a significant hazard, causing more fatalities in the U.S. in an average year than lightning, tornadoes, or hurricanes. Flash floods can also deposit large quantities of sediments on floodplains and can be destructive of vegetation cover not adapted to frequent flood conditions. It recommends that people get out of the area of a flash flood rather than trying to cross it. Many people tend to underestimate the dangers of flash floods. What makes flash floods most dangerous is their sudden nature and fast-moving water. A vehicle provides little to no protection against being swept away. It may make people overconfident and less likely to avoid the flash flood. More than half of the fatalities attributed to flash floods are people swept away in vehicles when trying to cross flooded intersections. In deserts, flash floods can be particularly deadly for several reasons. First, storms in arid regions are infrequent, but they can deliver an enormous amount of water in a very short time. Second, these rains often fall on poorly absorbent and often clay-like soil, which greatly increases the amount of runoff that rivers and other water channels have to handle. These regions tend not to have the infrastructure that wetter regions have to divert water from structures and roads, such as storm drains, culverts, and retention basins, either because of sparse population or poverty, or because residents believe the risk of flash floods is not high enough to justify the expense. In fact, in some areas, desert roads frequently cross a dry river and creek beds without bridges. From the driver's perspective, there may be clear weather when a river unexpectedly forms ahead of or around the vehicle in a matter of seconds. Finally, the lack of regular rain to clear water channels may cause flash floods in deserts to be headed by large amounts of debris, such as rocks, branches, and logs. The water can be more dangerous than you know. In flash flood water, there are animals, microorganisms, debris, chemicals, sewage, and power lines that can cause injury, sickness, and even death. Flash floods are a scary, sudden, and forceful act of nature. 1 minute everything is calm, and the next you are being swept away by the powerful force of water. Throughout history, there have been hundreds of lives lost and millions of dollars in damage done because of these floods. 2 key factors that lead to flash flooding are the intensity of the rainfall and its duration. For this reason, Most flash flooding is caused by slow-moving thunderstorms that move repeatedly over the same area, or heavy rains from hurricanes and tropical storms. Flooding deaths have risen in recent decades in the U.S. Congress's Office of Technology Assessment says that despite recent efforts, vulnerability to flood damages is likely to continue to grow as populations in flood-prone regions steadily increase. Flash floods are the most dangerous type of flood because they have the destructive power of a normal flood combined with raging water, in addition to being unpredictable. Each year in the U.S., floods kill more people than hurricanes, tornadoes, or lightning. Flash floods can occur from storms that are miles away that increase water levels within minutes or seconds. They can bring walls of water rushing through canyons up to 12 feet high. There are certain times of the year when flash floods are more likely to occur. Monsoon season, which runs from mid-July to mid-September, is when flash floods have the highest probability of occurring. Be sure to always listen for news of dam or levee failures. Watch for slow-moving storms that repeatedly move over the same area. Hurricanes are another big source of intense rain. If you see water is collecting in pools, this is a sign the ground is oversaturated with water and that flooding can occur. During flood watches, do not park your car near a river or on a street that you know floods. As land turns from fields or woodlands into roads and parking lots, it loses its ability to absorb rainfall. Always be aware of a flood watch or flood warning from the National Weather Service. The deadliest flash flood in history occurred on August 11, 1979 in the town of Marby in the Indian state of Gujarat. The Machchu Dam is located on the Makhu River and burst after holding back several days of heavy rainfall. Its failure sent waves between 12 and 30 feet in height to the low-lying areas of Marby, located below the dam. These waves flooded the entire area within 20 minutes and caused the deaths of what is estimated to be between 1,800 and 25,000 people. Additionally, the flood damaged surrounding agricultural lands and resulted in significant loss of crops. An investigation after the flood determined that the break had been caused by a lack of communication and structural failure. This event holds a place in the Guinness Book of Records as the worst dam break in history. The Johnstown flood, which occurred on May 31, 1889, is the second deadliest flash flood in history. This tragedy occurred when the South Fork Dam, located on the Little Conemaugh River in the state of Pennsylvania, broke after approximately a week of storms and heavy precipitation. The break sent 20 million tons of water from Lake Conemaugh, the local reservoir, into the city of Johnstown below the dam. Researchers suggest that the amount of water that flowed into Johnstown was equal to that of the Mississippi River. This tragedy caused the loss of 2,209 lives. This storm system in late September of 2006 brought some severe weather and local flooding throughout the southeastern United States and the Louisville County warning area. There were several accounts of heavy rain and flash flooding from around the area. Flooding was observed as far north as French Lick, Indiana, in Orange County where Manin Road had to be closed due to localized flooding. Flooding was also reported as far south as Logan County, Kentucky, where North Russellville Bridge at Coopertown Road was flooded and impassable. Radar and personal accounts of the event illustrate rain in some areas of 6 inches or more. A report using an electronic rain gauge suggested that Leavenworth, Indiana received over 2.5 inches of rain in a 1-hour period. The event caused over $1 million in damages and caused numerous civilians to flee residences due to quickly rising waters. This was the deadliest weather event since March of 1997. 6 people died in the county warning area due to localized flooding, in many cases where vehicles were overcome by rising water. Interstate 64 had to be closed due to standing water. Also, an apartment complex in the Louisville area had to be evacuated due to the danger of the rising waters. Flash flooding impacted southern Indiana and north central Kentucky on August 4, 2009. as slow-moving thunderstorms moved over the same areas. Among the hardest-hit locations were Louisville, Jeffersonville, New Albany, and Clarksville. Several roads were closed due to floodwaters. Thank you for watching the Outdoor Life channel. Please subscribe for more awesome videos.